These people are getting ready for a festival, the Wiggin's Cabin Festival. You know, one of the great things about my job in broadcasting is that it puts me right in the middle of everything that goes on in this community. And today I get to broadcast from the festival. I brought my cameras along so you can enjoy it too, here on the MT and Me. Come on, 102.7 FM, coming to you live from the Wiggin's Cabin Festival, the 45th annual Wiggin's Cabin Festival, just in case you're counting, and having a great time with it. Yep, it's the 45th annual Wiggin's Cabin Festival. A huge fall gathering of art and craft and food vendors and entertainers and lots more, all coming together to raise funds to maintain two South Arkansas historical treasures, the Wiggin's Cabin and the Crossit Company House. Everyone turns out for this event, and there is a tremendous support from area businesses and industries, including, I'm proud to say, my employer, R&M Broadcasting. This yearly festival is the perfect opportunity for shoppers to pick up unique gifts and handmade items and decorations, all for the coming holiday season. This year, 53 vendors have set up booths. They'll be selling just about everything you can imagine. The Wiggin's Cabin itself has been a fixture here since being moved to the shores of Lucas Pond in the early 70s. The cabin was nearly 150 years old then when it was moved and restored to be a historical museum. And its life was about to get even more interesting. A lot of people took time to tour the Wiggin's Cabin, the company house here, and those, as we pointed out earlier this afternoon, there are two historic buildings here in Crossit. The cabin, of course, originated out in the swamps some years ago, and in the early 1970s it was moved here to this site and restored as a museum, basically. And then the cabin burned and caught on fire, an electrical fire, and burned. And so the cabin here now is a rebuilt replica, but it is as close tit for tat of a replica as it could possibly be. And I mean, even built in the same manner and using the same methods and tools as the cabin. So it's as close to the original cabin as it could possibly be. And the company house is an original company house, painted rose gray back in the day, 100 years, a little over 100 years ago. Crossit Company ran a sawmill here that this town grew out of, and they owned all the houses, and they were all three-room shotgun houses, well, much like the one that's sitting up here. And so it's just kind of a replica of the early days of this town. So anyway, we're proud of both of these. We're proud to have them, and it's wonderful to celebrate them each and every year here with this Wiggin's Cabin Festival that is put on by the Crossit Area Chamber of Commerce Cultural and Historical Society. That's a mouthful, but it's a great group of people that work hard to preserve the elements of our history and culture here in Crossit and South Arkansas. And they do this festival along with a lot of help from the local Beta Sigma Phi sorority. That's the Delta Xi chapter of Beta Sigma Phi, headquartered here in Crossett. And these ladies do a terrific job every year of helping out with this Wiggin's Cabin Festival. So that is why we do this festival and why we've been doing it for 45 years now. The morning is taken up by the little Mr. and Miss Wiggin's pageant right here on the stage next to the cabin. Throughout the afternoon, the same stage has live entertainment for the crowd. There's also a special section set aside just for the kids with some fun and games with them in mind, some bouncy houses and lots more, things to keep them entertained. There's also horseback riding for the kids. And for everyone, there's a day of dragon boat races on beautiful Lucas Pond. Teams of 11 people will paddle one of these boats in a one-on-one race over a 200-yard course. It can get exciting. I got a chance to go over and actually see one race, and it was a good one. It was a good one because it was actually starting. What they do is they race to one end and then back to the other end, and they had two pairs of boats so they could keep the racing going at a faster turnaround. So they would race it pair to one end, and then they'd reload them and have them race back, like that. So we had one pair going back. I know that sounds confusing, but it makes sense. Trust me on that one, okay? But anyway, the race I got to see, the boats were starting virtually next to me out on the lake and racing back towards the levee. So it was really cool to see them blow the horn and those take off and those drummers start hitting the drum and counting, and everyone just rolling their little hearts out. And so we had all these teams taking part in these dragon boat races today, and we'd love to find out. They're going to give trophies to, of course, the top teams in the racing, but also they have awards for the teams showing the best spirit and having the best team theme and costumes and things like that, because teams are actually urged to have outfits, have costumes, set up a tent, have some wild stuff going on, make it as wild and crazy as you want, and have some fun. And that's exactly what everybody did.
Congratulations to the Dragon Crushers.
It was a beautiful, perfect day for this festival. Literally not a cloud in the sky, which gave everyone a fantastic view of a rare astronomical event, a solar eclipse, right at midday. And much of the crowd, as well as our cameras, put on their dark lens glasses and watched the moon shadow move across the sun. covered a lot of these things. In fact, I've probably been to all 45 Wiggins Cabin festivals. Yeah, I'm that old. And we've always been here, you know, with our radio coverage. This is the first festival, not just Wiggins, but Armadillo or any other festival or event. It's the first one I have ever covered in my lifetime that had a solar eclipse right in the middle of it. And but today, guess what? We've got one. In fact, it's already reached its point of totality here in Arkansas, which is only about 68-70%, something like that. So it is now moving away. We're on the downside of the solar eclipse, but there's still very much a moon shadow on the sun. So if you have your nice solar eclipse glasses, which I do, I'm looking through them right now. If you stare into your radio speaker, you can see that. And no, I can't see a darn thing through them because that's the whole point. They're dark, very, very dark, so you can safely look at the sun. But if you do that, then you can safely see that the moon shadow moving across the sun. Just a little bit of it that we're working into the Wiggins Cabin Festival here this year for you, okay? Probably will never quite work out this way again, so come on down and join us and make the most of it. I mentioned food vendors a little bit earlier, and there were food vendors. 2 rows of food trucks were lined up in the festival. The people lined up as well because there was just about every kind of food and treats you could imagine. And the people ate. And they ate. And they ate. Even as we were finishing up our broadcast from the festival, all the fun was still swinging along, and the festival would be going well into the evening. And Jeff Tanksley's been here with me. You've been around. What are your impressions on the festival?
It's really nice.
Always takes place, and we have enjoyed being here today.
A lot of food. There's probably more food than I've ever seen.
I have plenty of food, and I think according to Sylvia, more vendors there. I think she said 53 vendors. And about 10 more behind. It's absolute perfect day of festivities, the Wiggins Cabin Festival, and as I pointed out a couple of times, the one and only festival that I have ever covered in my life, and probably ever will, that included a solar eclipse. And I'm pretty moved by that. It just really added something to the day, all things considered. But anyway, Jeff, thank you.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right, appreciate you being here, and our sister station, Q-Light 99.5, also here with Dennis Maxwell and Sherry Hendricks. And we also, again, want to thank Mandy Tanksley and Becky Maxwell for holding down the engineering duties back at the studios for our 2 broadcasts going on today. All right, that's going to be a wrap from the Wiggins Cabin Festival. Thanks to you for coming down and enjoying the festival and for listening in here on the Light 102.7. Have a good afternoon. And thank you again, Manomis, for watching this week's video. I really hope you enjoyed our brief coverage of the Wiggins Cabin Festival as much as we enjoyed being there. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Next week, I'll be back at work on Pearl, so until then, I love you, my nomies. I'm Russ, and we will talk later.